Hi. Hey, it's Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo, transformational astrology. Want to help you get your mojo back. Just going to organize some stuff because I was preoccupied with getting my notes together, and now I have to find them. So let me know that you're here. Come say hello to me. Okay. Woo. Are we feeling it? Are we feeling all those things I've been talking about? I mean, we're always feeling life, right? Always feeling life. So for those of you who don't know me, and you don't maybe know that I say that the planets in astrology don't do anything to you because we live in a cooperation with the cosmos. So when you make a move, it's reflected in the heavens. When the planets make a move, and by way of aspects and angles, it shows up in your life because it's your timing. The planets aren't doing anything to you. It literally is a cooperation between the planets and you. Astrology and you, perfect together. All right, so this beautiful background, thanks and courtesy of NASA. It is the Hubble Orion Nebula, one portion of it, because it's very large. Anyway, so I just thought it was stunning, and I wanted to, give a little bit of what's really going on out there in the cosmos. It's just a reflection of us, too. So who's here? Come talk to me. All right. So we are going to be talking about the new moon in Virgo, which technically the energy we're already in. It's on August 30th, 2019. Now, if you're listening to this in a replay, what you can do is take away from it the exercises because they apply all the time, especially in certain aspects and angles of astrology. But we're going to not just see these as, oh, she talked about this on this day, so the point is moot. No, that's not true. We are going to continue to give you exercises and techniques that you can use and methods that you can use to empower yourself. Oh, and by the way, the Earth is tilted on its axis just a little bit, and we're seeing that in weather patterns, in a lot of things. But anyway, the monsoons that typically happen in August here in Sedona are not happening, but I sense them. I smelt the petrichor in the air this morning, and my hair did a nice little poofy. So monsoons are on the way. Hooray. Hey, Elizabeth is here. Hi, Elizabeth. Okay, so, here's some fun news. I'm going to list all the places as it becomes news to me. I want to welcome to the Astrology Mojo community, Indiana and New Jersey. Go Jersey. I am a Jersey girl with Jersey hair. And Idaho and Bermuda, Montana, Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, Oklahoma, Idaho, Illinois, and Georgia. Oh, Georgia. Okay, so that's a big hello to all the people who are now starting to tune in to this Astrology Mojo show. I'm going to call it a show. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what the new moon in Virgo portends and what you need to look for, a couple of things, and then 3 things you can do to remedy and to work with this particular energy. Now, here's a really interesting fact about our universe and how it works with our moon. There is typically just one new moon a month, sometimes 2, depending on how many days in the month and where the new moon falls. If there's a new moon on the 1st or the 2nd or the 3rd, there could be one on the 31st as well. But typically it's just one. And the new moon, well, what's interesting about the new moon, oh, Elizabeth says, love your show, thank you. The new moon is meant for initiation, but it's the darkest part of the sky in a 28-day period. So how do we begin something in the dark? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. And okay, by the way, I am here just so you know, pass it on. I am here Monday, Thursday, and Saturdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, and 1 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. GMT. So let your friends and family know, and anyone you think that might benefit from this information, to come and join me. And join us all here in the chat as well. Okay, so let me see. I'm looking at my notes. They're meant for Nisha. Look back. Okay. I want you to do a little bit of investigating. And if you look back at your calendars at the previous new moons of 2019, and I'll give you a hint in just a sec, you can look within 3 to 4 days of that time frame what you were doing, what you were focused on, and what you can expect approximately in that month next year. Okay, so this way we look at the patterns that are happening. So we had a new moon. I'll just start with February 4th. And personally, I was immersed, just dove right into editing my work. I had to re-record something. I had to retype something. I had to edit some blogs and some things that I had written for. I also write for the Sedona Monthly Magazine and for the XO USA online magazine for travel for the US. And so I had to redo. I looked back on my calendar this morning so I can give you these notes so you can get an idea. On March 6th, the next new moon, which was in Pisces, I was immersed in bookkeeping. Not my favorite topic, but there it was. I had all these things to detail, download, markup, blah, blah, for the bookkeeper. Okay, April 5th, I was working in very specific detail with a client in a VIP program. May 4th, I was at a Devi Premal concert, enchanting for 2 hours. It was phenomenal. It was so uplifting. It was amazing. June 3rd, the entire day was made up of doctor's appointments and organizing schedules and callbacks. And so a lot of details. And then July 2nd, it was all about online portals and re-upping subscriptions, canceling some subscriptions. I had to go over passwords online. So you can start to see patterns in your world around the new moons. Okay, it's like that. Now, hey, if you're here, just come talk to me. Let me know that you're here. We're talking about the new moon happening on August 30th, 2019 in the sign of Virgo. And I'm going to show you a chart for this week and what it looks like. There's a lot of Virgo, a lot of details. Oh, I'm going to now take a sip of the universe. What is that? Is that not amazing and so magical? Look at that. I'm just going to pull it right in. Hey, Debbie's here too. So come talk to me. Tell me your birthday. What's your sun sign? Okay, now, typically, just a little bit of astronomy. The upcoming new moons are typically in the sign that the sun is in. So if the sun's in Virgo, the new moon is in Virgo. All right? Now, but whereas the full moon is typically always in the opposite of that sign of that particular month. So, example, September 28th will be a new moon in Libra. The full moon, however, is on September 13th in Pisces. September 13th is a Virgo. The opposite of Virgo is Pisces. So a full moon will always be in the opposite sign, whereas the new moon is in the sign of the month. Okay, now, and there will be, just so you know, October 27th, there's another new moon. November 26th, there's one in Sagittarius, but the really big one that we're going to be talking about in a couple of months. December 25th, there is not only a new moon in Capricorn, but also a solar eclipse. And if you know me, I love eclipses because they really shine a light on you and what you're doing. All right, some definitions. Now, Virgo represents, the symbol of Virgo is the angelic maiden, and she's holding a staff of grain. Some people say wheat. To me, it's general. It's a grain, and it represents abundance and the harvest after long toil, so that you are nourished, properly nourished from the earth. Now, Mercury is the planet that guides Virgo. And what's interesting, though, about even though Virgo is an earth sign, it's a highly energetic and charged earth sign because of this Mercury energy. And so, Virgo is meant to reflect the merging of celestial harmony with body, mind, spirit. So it's about taking care of yourself. It's about health, well-being. It's about taking care of yourself. Sometimes it branches off into science or holistic remedies, but it's also the organization and giving credence, really valuing your body, mind, spirit connection. And, this might be about your spirituality. This might be about science. This might be about health. This might be about your productivity. Or it could be about community and or service to the world. But no matter what, where there's Virgo, there are details. and data will rule the day or rue the day. You'll rue the day you do not pay attention to data. Okay. Hey, Vicky's here too. Hi, Vicky. So let's see what else in my notes. The moon. The moon represents maternal energy and the flow of abundance, also emotions, and it's usually the undercurrent of a situation. And when you combine it in Virgo, there can be a lot of nervous energy. It doesn't necessarily mean negative. It could mean just excited or excitable. So you have to just be careful of that because we're coming up on it. We're in the energy of it already. So if you have a lot of Virgo or Pisces in your chart, you're definitely going to feel this. Absolutely. Also Gemini and Sag. So now, remember this now, this is important. The new moon signifies initiation. That's starting something. The full moon is for completion. So within 3 days or so, hey, Laura Lee, I'm glad you could join us. Within 3 days of the new moon or the full moon, but we're speaking about the new moon in Virgo, is when you start to feel that it might be a jitter. It might be a, look at the mess on my desk, or I have files I need to organize, or get out the shredder. Or you open up your closet and you suddenly say, or the pantry, and you say, yeah, I got to organize this stuff. It's driving me nuts. The chaos, the confusion, or the opposite happens with the new moon in Virgo. And that's where, remember, because it's the darkest part of the sky. So how can we initiate something new in the dark? This is what I want to talk about. So let me know you're here. Come say hello and tell us your birthday. And not only is the new moon in Virgo, but so is Venus. Oh, let me pull up the chart. Here's the chart. Woohoo. There it is. See all that Virgo? Venus is in Virgo. And so we're very specific about our finances right now and how to strategize. And Mars is in Virgo. We might be coming up with a procedure or a protocol to help other people in a system and breaking down the system. And then the sun is in Virgo, focuses on the details, and Mercury is in Virgo as of today. So we welcome Mercury in Virgo in its natural placement, but we don't welcome the judgment. Evaluation is welcome, but not negative judgment. And then now moon, the new moon in Virgo. Okay, and so when we're having a situation in our life and we really can't get a grip on it, but we start to feel the churning, that need to purge through, well, Pluto would be the need to purge. Virgo is the need to organize the purge before the purge. And again, in the dark, new moon, it's the darkest part of the sky. So what do? Well, first, we have to know what's bothering us, right? So if you feel any version of an upset stomach or nervous tension or the need to get nitpicky about something or the need to, really research and get to know, well, what are my options? What are the details? How am I feeling? What's going on? You know, depending on where the new moon in Virgo is in your chart, there will be different, everyone will experience something different. So, but basically, I want you to have a checklist. Check. Okay. So I want you to check your diet. Number one, check your diet. What are you eating? What are you ingesting? And what are you drinking? Because whatever it is, if it's adding to tension or nervous worry or makes you more disagreeable, then the choice would be to put that thing aside for a while, right? And then replace it with something much more positive, something much more nurturing. All right. Now, the second thing on your checklist is check in with your thoughts. Are you spiraling over and obsessing over and over again about the details that here's what I could have said to that person. Here's what I should have done yesterday. Here's what I didn't get a chance to say, so I'm going to say it right now. And it's 2:00 in the morning, and I'm not going to stop until I get that speech right. Because you know what? Virgo hates to be wrong. That's a big thing. So you want to check in with your thoughts. Where are they going? And number 3, I want you to check in with your emotions. How do you feel? Because your thoughts are going to couple with your emotions, and you're going to create a neuron. And that neuron's going to say yay or nay to your world. And what are you manifesting? How is it working for you? If all you do is obsess about the thing you didn't get to say, or, oh, darn it, I had a chance to, but I didn't, and now I regret it, and now I'm nervous, I'm really worried. So if these are the things that are coming up in your life, this is not, sometimes we are in an astrological phase where a lot of times Neptune is involved, and we get to coast through a day or two or a week, and we just can dream, and we can meditate just on floating through space. Okay, right now, hope is not a strategy. Not when the new moon is in Virgo. So once you get clear on what you're feeling, and I want to check in the comment section in just a second. Once you get clear on what you're feeling, you want to double it up with what am I thinking? Because my thoughts are going to churn and create emotions. They're going to couple together, and they're going to make an electrical charge called a neuron, and then suddenly it's going to be my reality. Is it your truth, though? This is what we want to know. So let me check in with people. Hey, Vicki, and it's a Capricorn. So Christine says, speaking of health, have you had your thyroid checked lately? Yes, I have had my thyroid checked very recently. In fact, I have my thyroid checked 3 times a year. And so thanks for checking in. And my throat chakra, well, I talk a lot and I record a lot, so I have to, be careful of taking space for quiet time. But thank you so much for tuning in. And so when you have your checklist and you're looking at, okay, all right, what's up with this feeling I have? That's where you want to start, right? This is your diet supporting your feeling? Is your whole mental capacity to learn, grow, accept absolutely and judge less to evaluate more? That comes up in a Virgo energy. And we've got so much Virgo energy right now that the dark side usually leans toward worry, nervous tension, or judgment. And I mean holding it in. What does a Virgo do? They hold it in until they let it go. That's typical of an earth sign. And sometimes they'll let it go sideways in a sarcastic comment or a defensive comment or a persnickety comment, or they just ignore you altogether. What's wrong? Nothing? And then they go away. So how do you know? So if it's not with an actual person, we want to check in with our aura, our vibe during this new moon, because what you can initiate is powerful. Now, completion comes at a full moon, which is happening on September 13th in the sign of Pisces. And during that time frame between now and then, because there's 4 cycles in a moon cycle, there's the new moon, first quarter, and then there's the, then we move into the full moon after it starts to wax, and then it starts to wane, and then we go back to the full moon, so the third quarter. So during these phases, especially new moon and full moon. And it may not be the completion 2 weeks later, right? So you start something and you initiate something in a new moon and you say, I really need to get organized, because that's what the whole vibe is about your health, about your environment. It needs to be spiritual, but it also needs to be practical. Okay? Does that make sense? Let me know you're here. Come say hello to me. Got to take a drink of the galaxy. And thank you to NASA and Hubble telescope that took this amazing image of the Orion Nebula. Isn't that gorgeous? Technology is amazing. So, all right. So we check in with our diet, our thoughts, our emotions, and then we're still confused because all we focus on is the thing that's getting our emotional attention. But there are ways. We have ways of finding out by asking some questions of yourself. Here's what I'd like you to ask yourself during this week. And during this time frame, I want you to ask yourself, do I criticize who I am on any level? Do I criticize myself, or do I feel criticized? These are important questions, and you want to write this down. You want to detail, like a scientist taking research data. That's what this energy is meant for. You know, this morning, my husband had several phone calls and, a lot of work, and then he stopped and he looked at me and he said, I just cleaned both of the bathrooms. It's like, okay, great. Thank you so much. So we're going to get these urges to organize something, hygiene is very important. So it's not just about our own physical well-being that's involved. It's, did I just see dust under that thing? How long is that? Oh my God. And then you start to feel this energy move, and it can get nervous. It can be like, oh, I've got so much to say and do, and I've got to call this person. I got to type this person. I got to. So you just want to pace it a little bit so you're not overdone and turn to toast. Okay. So I'm sorry, getting back to my questions. Do I criticize myself, or do I feel criticized? And if you do, write it down. Okay. Now, when do I feel as if I'm made to be wrong? Is that person trying to make me wrong? That goes hand in hand with being criticized, but it's a different word, and sometimes you might respond differently to that word. Does that make sense? Say hi. Let me know. And not just do I feel criticized, or am I made to feel wrong, but how do I handle it? Okay, you want to see how you handle this. Is it sometimes you need to just sequester yourself and say, wait a minute, did that just happen? Wait a second. Yeah, I think, and then get a reality check from a friend. Here's what happened. And then here come the details. Blah, blah, blah. But we don't want to get lost in the details. We want to use the details to assess and prioritize what we're doing and how we're feeling and our initiation of that new seed, right? So we initiate something new, and then by a full moon, it doesn't have to be the very next one. By a full moon, we want completion. So that's what the pattern we're looking for. Okay, now, oh, by the way, if you're medicated in any way, and it's not working for you, like Christine mentioned, she picked up on my thyroid. I take thyroid medication, and I probably don't need as much as I'm taking, but that in another 3 weeks, I'll be going to the doctor, and we're going to check on that. So this is a time of really looking at how to adjust, talk to your healthcare provider, work on your own, do some research, really take your health into your own hands, and then have first, second, and third opinions and find out, get the details of what makes a difference for you. And sometimes we're just given a prescription by a doctor and they say, here, go do that. And you go, okay, sure. And you take it and you go, yeah, 3 days later, I don't feel good. And you don't place it. You don't think, oh, I just started a new medication, or I just started a new regimen, or I just eliminated certain things from my diet and replaced them with this. And you don't always see the correlation. So I want you to just be extra aware and diligent around the details of your physical well-being. All right. Okay. Now, and okay, if you're going in circles with the same issues, all right, I just cracked my neck like 4 times. Okay, then then that tells me, and this whole time frame tells me really that some part of you feels at a crossroads, and you're excited to get going, but you may not know exactly which thing to pursue. It doesn't have to be a negative, worried, nervous energy. It could be a very excited, oh, I'm going to start that. I'm going to do that. And so you start researching and you do all the data and you get all your information, and then you're still confused. Okay. Or you might be confused about your direction overall, or anxious. Okay. Like we talked about. Or if you're feeling wounded and wanting to immediately judge the situation, the world, your life, somebody else, I want you to take a deep breath. Also, this time frame tells me that you might be praying for a miracle. Like you just heard something. And again, this could deal with health. It could. It depends on where the new moon in Virgo is in your chart. And everyone will experience it differently. But if it does deal with health or well-being on any level, I am going to give everybody some things that they can do, 3 things that you can do. And if you're just joining us, we are talking about the new moon in Virgo happening on August 30th, but we're already in the vibe of it. And it correlates to all the things that I've been talking about in the past couple of shows, and let me show the chart. Hang on. Okay, so look at all that Virgo. See all the green triangles? The green triangles are blessings. They're openings. So this is a time that you can facilitate your well-being, your healing, which I think is brilliant, right? And then we have a couple of tense angles. Jupiter is still squaring the Sun and Mars, and also Jupiter is squaring Neptune. So that feeling of, I have to get going, but I don't know where to go. I don't know the best way. I don't know how. Some people are actually starting to face addictions, and in a different way. And those addictions can be to a chemical. They can be to a thought pattern, what you're thinking up here. And it can be a negative addiction, like, Eeyore, oh, well, it's never going to happen, that kind of thing. Or the addiction can be to another person who is addicted. So as you start to face up and you sober up, disillusionment comes into play. But now we're in this really great phase of pinpointing it, not to start suffering over your suffering, okay? Got to pick up my cards. All right, we don't want to start suffering over our suffering. That's what the square is also saying to us. And it's wanting to blame. So if there's a part of you that recognizes, oh my gosh, the dentist said I should do that and I did, and now it's worse. Yes, of course, everyone needs to be held responsible for their actions. But if the dentist said, call me if you're in pain and you didn't, and then it got worse, okay, and you tried your own things and they didn't work. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be about not judging, but evaluating the details so that you move straight into a place of compassion, because that's really what it's about. And I think, too, once you get clear on what the issues are, it's going to be easier to get through them. Okay, so the new moon ultimately is for planting seeds for growth, but we have to clear it away. That's why in the new moon, it's dark. So we have to face the dark inside of us. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? You let me know. What does the darkness mean to you? Well, I take a sip before we talk about 3 ways you can really remedy these things. I'm going to drink the galaxy. Come talk to me. Who's here? We've got a Sagittarius. We've got a Capricorn, a Taurus, a Cancer, Pisces. Thanks for being here, folks. Okay, so what do you do? What can you do? I'll tell you. I'll tell you what you can do, right? I'll just recap a little bit. I want you to have your checklist. We are in Virgo. You want to be detailed and have a checklist. And that is to help yourself by checking out your diet and your health regimen. Are you also working out, moving your body, getting, the blood flowing, oxygenating your blood? Are you eating well? Are you hydrating well? Are you eliminating sugar and chemicals and things that don't belong in your body? Now I want you to check in with your thoughts. Spiraling in negatives? Judging and obsessing? Okay, what can we do? Check in with your emotions. Do the same thing. What's the recurring emotion? Name it. Write it down. Let's get detailed. So how to remedy these things is, 1, you meditate and ruminate. First, you meditate and you get quiet and you make space. That's what meditation is meant for. It's just making space. Okay? And then in that space, you will start to ruminate because we're in Virgo and you can't stop thinking in Virgo anyway. So why force yourself out of it? And the thing is, okay, I did a 3-minute, 5-minute, 20-minute, whatever, walking meditation, sitting down, quiet meditation. And here's what I realized about this issue, about my thing, about how I feel, about my food intake, my diet, my drink, my judgments. Here's how I'm going to ruminate even more. Here's how it's easier to put it on someone else than take responsibility. And it feels crappy. So let me just breathe some more. And look at those colors behind me. Breathe in the rainbow. Ignite your own rainbow, okay? Then 2, first you meditate and ruminate. Then 2, you want to navigate wholeness. What is it that helps you to feel happy? What? And healthy. What is it? And why do you deny yourself these things? So if you know that you're tired by 9:20 and you say, oh, I'm just going to finish watching one more thing and then I'll fold some laundry. Why? Why push it? If you've got nervous energy, I've got some little tips you can do to help that will help you to calm things down. Okay, also, and the third thing, so after we meditate and then ruminate, and then we navigate wholeness and make sure we are really taking care of ourselves because we're ready. Are we ready? We're going to orchestrate our priorities. That's number 3. And when you do that, you're going to say, once I feel a little bit better, once I clean off my desk and my closets and whatever else you need to clean out, then I'm going to plant that seed. I'm going to plant that seed. And let's do that by this weekend. Labor Day weekend. Yeah, you have to put a little work into it. I didn't make that up. But there's some things you can do to help yourself. What gives you the greatest joy? That's really what I want you to navigate toward, away from the other things and toward, okay? And then I see some comments. I'll check on those in a second. And orchestrate your priorities. You want to plant that one seed. One seed. Don't overwhelm yourself. One seed. What's one thing you can do toward that goal to help you? You have all these open doors right now with all these trines. One thing that you do now is going to be worth 10 things that you would do any other time. Okay? So, by the way, some things that can help with nervous tension, and also check with your doctor and your healthcare provider. I do not diagnose, I do not cure, but I recommend, based on things that I have experienced when I really have trouble sometimes and I just have a nervous, and it's not about anything, I just feel so much of the world. I will take a teaspoon of ashwagandha powder in a little bit of water or some tea and drink it about, an hour or so before bed, and it starts to really calm down. Kava tea does the same. Not too much kava drops because it can wear on the liver. So, once or twice a month, tops. And again, you have to check and make sure that you're okay with these things. So chamomile tea, absolutely. The amino acid L-theanine is also fantastic to help calm the jitters. And you can take that during the day a little bit, or at bedtime, or with food. It depends on how your body responds to it. Also, the hormone melatonin, which is best taken if you're going on a journey, on the trip and or before bedtime, to help, 3 milligrams, 5 milligrams, just to help take the edge off so it can calm you down. And these are non-addictive remedies. So please give them a chance. Let me say hello to people who's here. So Elizabeth was responding earlier to darkness, open space, mystery questions. Yeah. So isn't that interesting that when you ask a question in the dark, you're going to be listening, right? Because you want the answer, don't you? That's what we hope. So Christine says, looking into updating the water filtration system for my house. Okay, great. So as you're specific with that, you'll know what is healthier, what it filters out, you can get chemical tests locally from your water company to find out what are the bigger chemicals. Is it arsenic? Is it naturally occurring? Is it chlorine? What things are in your water that's not sitting well with you. And that's a great thing to do. So I'm going to pull some cards. How is everybody doing? I'm just going to pull some cards, and then I will be back again, of course, on Saturday. And we're going to talk more about the trines that are happening and how this can all benefit you. Thanks for being here, folks, by the way. Okay, so I call on my angels, my starseeds, and all light beings that are here to help us to work with the new moon in Virgo. Oh, well, these are interesting cards. Okay, so allowing is one. Okay, so let's see what's coming your way and then allow it. Because then you can assess for yourself, does this work for me? Does this not work for me? And not hide from the information that's coming to you in the darkness. Okay, and another one, of course, with Virgo, it had to be this card, the mind. Oh, that is trippy. I love that. Ooh, the mind sparkles. The mind is sparkly. So when you're overworked and overwrought, you know what to do. You have to relax yourself. Okay, does that make sense? When your mind is focused on one thing, you're going to pool all the energy and it's going to become very electric. So, but are those things that you're thinking about, are they serving you? Are they serving the greater good? You want to plant at least one seed. I have two fingers up because one is like, listen to what I'm saying. And the other one is, this is the one. This is the number one. You want to plant one seed in this new moon. What is that? It could be simple. It could be, I choose to be healthier. I choose to be calmer. I choose to release stress. I choose to clean up my desk. I choose to fill in the blank. And then little bits toward that thing. I will be back on Saturday. And, oh, by the way, to get your natal chart, your free chart, actually, I will post it. You can go to astrologylifechart.com. I think this is an active link. And in there, you can also hear an awesome, once you click on the link and you get your chart, you'll be taken to a page where you can hear your sun sign reading that I made specifically for you. And I'm posting more and more videos to YouTube, to my YouTube channel. So please also subscribe. I'll post that link and share the love. Let other people know. You can go to the YouTube channel, and I just posted that as well. You can subscribe, and then you'll see a little notification bell, and you click that and you'll be notified of when I upload new videos. All right, thanks folks. Thanks for being here. I will be back on Saturday. So have a beautiful evening. Be well. I wish you peace. Bye-bye.